Good evening, everybody. How's everyone doing tonight? Week 11 college football coming up. Let's see here. What am I going to do tonight? I think it's clear at this point. You know, it's been clear for a while now, but I think it's clear at this point that the college football model that I spent time this summer building is not any good. It has not done very good at all in terms of predicting. I mean, I'm sure these power rankings right here aren't bad, but as far as the predictions go, not good. And it looks like totals did very poorly this past week. Everything did very poorly this past week. And then official picks coming over here to week 10. 3-14 on totals. So that was a lone bright spot on the year, but not anymore. 4-12 on money line. Haven't solved that all year. And spread is what it is. So, yeah, it's clear that this model that I spent a lot of time on, much more complex than the model I've used to win me money the past 4 seasons, is not any good. And that's a shame because I thought, making it more complex, incorporating a lot more machine learning algorithms, and, really getting into the nitty-gritty when it comes to data science and math and everything, I thought that would make it better, but that's not the case. So, yeah. Caden Matthews, I plan on doing a video about that probably tomorrow, about my plans for college basketball this year, but the short answer for that, Caden Matthews, is as of right now, I have no plans. I'll go into a little more explanation on a separate video. As far as the key matrix is concerned, I mean, it's there on the keys. Totals have kind of taken a step back, but the key matrix is what it is. So I'm trying to figure out how to do this video tonight because honestly, I mean, here's my week 11 official picks. I mean, using the current keys, there's a lot of them, but I mean, honestly, at this point, who cares? It's not a predictive model. It's not. But there's people in this chat have been like, well, I don't follow your picks, but I still make money just based on listening to, what you say, which is fine. I understand that. I understand that completely. But yeah, it's just like, and I'm not saying I'm checked out. I mean, yeah, I'm checked out. I mean, to be honest with you. I mean, it's not like I've been betting real money on this. I mean, I've used a local for the first couple of weeks, but then I was like, you know what? Until this thing starts actually showing that it can win, I'm not going to bet. So, I mean, I haven't really bet on any of this yet, and I see no reason not to. So when you have no skin in the game, you kind of check out. So, I update these every week, and then I take it from there. But, let's see if this week things are looking better. At least on the games that went on last night. We had Akron and Western Michigan last night. I was watching college basketball. Western Michigan won by 5, and my model was unanimous Western Michigan on the spread, which they did not come close to covering, but it did go over. So at least the over was correct. But that was something I think that's why totals are starting to backslide because it's like the model's predicting over on everything, and I don't know why. And honestly, I don't care. I don't care enough to inspect why it is so over-hungry in terms of the total. So, anyway. Then we had Ohio and Eastern Michigan. Ohio was an upset winner. Did my model call that? I mean, half and half did. But this was total Splitsville here, so this was pretty sharp. And then we had Buffalo, which lost by a lot to Miami of Ohio. And it looks like my model is right on calling the Miami of Ohio, and the game did go over, which 4-6 had. So, I mean, and now this is broken over here. This happens every other week for some reason. I don't know why. But I have to go into the code and change this every other week. Like something changes the numbers. For the KNN graph, it's 8 and 10, right? No, it should be 9 and 7. And the total is 8. I don't know why this keeps happening. It drives me crazy. Every other week. Didn't happen last week. But anyway, it looks like as far as Maction's concerned, then we have Toledo and Bowling Green. Toledo's up 35-10 at halftime, and we have This is unanimous Bowling Green at plus 21.5, and so far so bad. Also unanimous under. We haven't seen a lot of that, but it looks like this game's going to go over. It was at 45 points at halftime, so we were wrong there on the total. Ball State, Northern Illinois tied 17-17. It looks like Ball State just took the lead on a safety. That's weird. It was 17-17. Yeah, looks like they blocked a punt out of the end zone for a safety, so Ball State's up 19-17. This was unanimous Northern Illinois. It looks like it's too close to call. Over. The 54 is the total. We were at 36 at halftime. It looked like it's going to head over, but I don't know why my model's so unanimous with the overs here. Then Kent State, Central Michigan. Kent State has a 7-point lead in the second quarter. This is unanimous Central Michigan at minus 2.5. They're driving, though. They're probably going to tie the game up here. Total 76.5, so I don't think they're on pace to get that. Okay, Central Michigan just tied the game up. 14-14. 8:31 to go. But yeah. I wish I could tell you. Yeah, I don't know why it does that, Arthur Ken. I really don't. Good evening, Gunner 347 Smith. All right, well, let's go look at some of the bigger matchups of the week. Let's go ahead and look at Michigan and Penn State. So Michigan number 4, Penn State number 30. 5 of 6 do like Michigan, as if that matters at this point. But unanimous at minus 120 on the money line, and 5 of 6 going under. Only Random Forest disagrees. K-Nearest Neighbors pretty split on the win percentage, but it has Michigan winning by an average of 5. So honestly, I do like Michigan in that spot. That is an 11 o'clock kick on ABC on Saturday, and then we got on Fox, the big noon Fox kickoff, we got Oklahoma going to Baylor. Baylor probably a little bit depleted after TCU won. I was at the game. I was at the TCU game this past Saturday. Had a great time. Really did. Oklahoma 19, Baylor number 23. Oklahoma's a 5.5-point favorite. The total is 63, but this is unanimous Baylor to cover and win. My model says the wrong team is favored here. We're Splitsville and over and under, though. So honestly, I would take Baylor in the points there. You would imagine that Oklahoma's due to lose at some point. Why not that game? All right, Georgia going on the road to Tennessee. Let's check that game out. Georgia's a 20.5-point favorite. The total is 56. 5 of 6 do like Georgia to cover. I have it at 45-20, so Georgia by 25. Money line's probably too big to play Georgia on, and then 5 of 6 going over. Number 1 versus 17. Tennessee has overachieved this year, but I don't think they're going to be able to beat Georgia. Not against that defense. And not one of the K-Nearest Neighbors matchup favors Tennessee. Only a few single-digit margins. Good evening, Rashim. Welcome back. All right, Purdue. Upstart Purdue. They've had a few upset wins lately. They're going to Ohio State. I think the clock strikes midnight for Purdue in this one. They're a 20-point dog on the road. Number 34 versus number 3. I have Ohio State winning 42-25, so by 17. So 5 of the 6 metrics do like Purdue to cover the 20. We're split on money line. Plus 800, I don't know. That's a long shot. 5 is going over on over and under. Only 2 K-Nearest Neighbors matchups do favor Purdue. One of which being Rutgers over Indiana in 2015. The other, Arkansas over Ole Miss in 2017. Both of those were very close wins. Average total in the K-Nearest Neighbors is 76. The total in this game is 62, so pretty heavy over. All right, Texas A&M and Ole Miss. A&M's a 2.5-point favorite on the road. Total's 56, number 7 versus 11, but I think the wrong team is favored here. I have Ole Miss winning 30-28. 5 of the 6 metrics do like Ole Miss to cover. Only Gradient Boost disagrees, and 5 of the 6 on the money line at plus 115 for Ole Miss as well. 5 of 6 do going over. Only Neural Network disagrees. K-Nearest Neighbors gives Ole Miss a 2/3 chance to win by an average of 5.2. All right, NC State and Wake Forest. A battle in the ACC. I don't even know what division. Coastal Atlantic, who cares? Number 21 versus 15. Wake Forest, a 1.5-point favorite at home. The total 66.5. I have Wake Forest covering all 6 metrics, 5 of the 6 money line metrics. Only Neural Network disagrees. We're split on over and under, but Wake Forest has a 3/4 chance to win according to the K-Nearest Neighbors graph. You think the wind's taken out of their sails after losing to North Carolina, but they're still in contention, so they're going to get up for this one. I think they will be fine. All right, I want to look at this matchup, not because it's a good one, but just to look at it. We got Kansas and Texas, number 36 versus 126. I have Texas winning 50-16, so by 34, so I think they will cover. I just wanted to look, but yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be able to right the ship. And then for selfish regions, I'm going to look at this one. TCU and Oklahoma State. We did beat Baylor, but Oklahoma State's a different challenge. 10% chance, and the most similar matchup was a TCU win. But ultimately, I just don't know if our defense... I mean, Oklahoma State doesn't have a great offense, but ultimately, I think Oklahoma State's defense will be too much for ours. You never know. Maybe Chandler Morris has another good game. All right, let's look at one more. What's one more matchup I can look at? Let's look at Minnesota and Iowa. That's a rivalry game. 26 versus 45. Iowa 5.5-point favorite. I have them winning 25-16. We're split everywhere though, so I don't know. There's a lot of betting angles here, so that's just how I see it. But overall, probably going to be a short video this week. Like I said, I'm just kind of checked out, to be honest with you, on college football. Just trying to get to the end. I apologize for the lack of enthusiasm, but just hasn't been there this year. Hasn't been there. And how do I put it? You're a lot more enthusiastic about things when you're invested. I'm just not invested in it right now, mainly because I just don't have any skin in the game. I'm just doing this for the sake of the audience at this point. But there's just not a lot of value on the information I'm giving out these days. Let's put it that way. So honestly, I really have nothing more to add. I'll try to stream on Saturday at some point. I don't know. Like I said, I have a life now. I mean, when I was living in Las Vegas, COVID lockdowns, didn't have any family there, no football games to go to, none of that. I had time to stream a lot more and everything. But now I have a life. I work. I'm also working full time. I'm a lot more active physically. I got a lot more going on, so it's just hard to invest the time I need to in here. I'm not trying to deflate you guys. I know you guys like to watch this channel. To get the information that I give out, I appreciate it. I do. It's just that, as far as me personally, this is just the cares of life. Let's put it that way. The cares of life are kind of choking me out of really being able to deliver the content I used to on this channel. Between work and having more of a life, visiting my family, doing things, it's just a lot harder. I'll talk about that more tomorrow. Maybe I'll retune it. Maybe I'll go back to the old model I was using that actually was successful and required a lot less time. No, the reason I still do these videos, even though I'm kind of checked out at the moment, is the audience. I know I don't have a big audience. I have, 14,000 subscribers, and out of those 14,000, maybe 20 to 30, sometimes 40 of you will tune into my streams. So maybe 1% of my audience, not even. But, it's still a loyal audience that appreciates the content I put out. And I'll talk about this more tomorrow in my college basketball video. But, I still continue to put these videos out because I know there's still a target. There's still an audience that appreciates it. And, if nothing else, I do it for you guys. Quarterback change, Jay Boak. Quarterback change, and I think Baylor wasn't really as good. Gut feeling laying the number on the Bearcats. Who are they playing? They're playing South Florida tomorrow or Friday night. .23 favorite. I have them winning 47-15, so by 32. So at least according to my model, yes, Gunner 347 Smith, but they haven't really been impressive the last 3 weeks. It seems like they're starting to, they're not getting the style points. And like it or not, style points matter, guys. I was a part of this 11 years ago when I was playing for TCU, and we were in the thick of the national championship hunt. And we were blowing everybody out. We were getting the style points. And then on senior day, November 13th, 2010, we play San Diego State. We spot them 14 points on the first 3 plays of the game because on their first play of the game, they ran a trick play that we fell for, and they scored on the first play of the game. It was like a double reverse pass or something. I forgot, but I just know they scored on it. And then we get the kickoff, and on our very first offensive play, we fumble the ball, and San Diego State scores a touchdown off that. So right off the bat, we're down 14-0, right? But then we score 37 unanswered. We're up 37-14. Everything's looking good. Senior day, we kind of let our foot off the gas, and then San Diego State connects on a couple of long touchdown passes, got caught napping, and then all of a sudden we're having to recover an onside kick to win the game. And that hurt us. We dropped from number 3 to number 4 in the rankings because of that. And if it weren't for Nevada beating Boise State a couple weeks later, we wouldn't have gone to the Rose Bowl. So style points matter. And Cincinnati is not getting the job done in that department. Here's another problem with Cincinnati. Who are they going to beat? Who are they going to beat, really, that's remaining on their schedule that's going to really move the needle? It's not going to be South Florida, East Carolina. It's probably not going to be SMU after the way they played the past couple of weeks. And Houston, they got destroyed by Texas Tech, who's one of the worst teams in the Big 12. So, honestly, the Notre Dame win, as long as the Notre Dame goes 11-1, they should be fine. But they have a 1-win resume right now. And honestly, I can see why the committee doesn't have them in the top 4. Ultimately, I do think they will finish in the top 4. I do. But I can see why the committee doesn't have them in the top 4. I really can. You know what? I'm going to change the angle here. I'm going to get rid of the green screen. Hold on. Let me zoom out. I just like if I'm gonna talk, just talk, instead of use the computer, I might as well do that. Is it a positive for UConn to play Clemson? Money for UConn, I imagine, but perhaps could hurt recruiting for a long time. No, that's a money game. That's why those games are played. Those games are played because of money. Clemson paid UConn to do that. UConn doesn't care. I mean, it's not like UConn's like one of those programs that need to play a bye game, like they're a cash-strapped athletic department. They're not. Basketball, especially like both basketball, men's and women's basketball, makes them money. They're not playing this because they need the money. But, yeah, it's just one of those games that I don't see how it would hurt recruiting for UConn, to be honest with you. I mean, they're not a recruiting powerhouse. They're not going to be. And, it is what it is. Any locks for this weekend? I'm feeling Michigan money line. To be honest with you, I don't like the term lock when it comes to sports betting because there's no such thing. There's no such thing as a lock. But I actually think Michigan money line isn't a bad play. Do I think Penn State is better than Michigan State? I think they're about the same, to be honest with you. I do. Yeah, Rasheem, I completely understand. I prefer, honestly, if I'm going to stream, I prefer my videos to be a lot more candid instead of structured and just kind of talk off the cuff, to be honest with you. If you watch these streams earlier this season, it was a lot more structured. I was going through every game, it was very structured, and that's not fun to me. I like to let my creative juices flow. I'm more of like a guy who just likes to talk. So I appreciate those of you who come to the stream for the knowledge and personality. I do. This is where I'm in my element, just talking off the cuff. But Michigan money line, I don't think that's a bad play. I think there's better plays on the board, to be honest with you. But if I were to make a play in that game, yeah, I would play the Michigan money line, absolutely. But whew, what a week, guys. What a week for me. What a week. I'm telling you guys. Yeah, I'm a lot more active these days. I'm doing I'm training for a marathon, a full marathon, and once a week I ride my bike to my gym, and it's a 14-mile bike ride each way, and so I get up at 4:30 in the morning to do it. So, and then I run 3 times during the week, and then I do a long run on Saturdays that I'm working, and I got a lot. Got a lot going on these days. And it's kind of weird, because when I was living in Las Vegas, I didn't have a lot going on. I wasn't working at the time. I didn't have any family in the area. I had a few friends, So I filled my time with stuff like this. I wasn't as active. I wasn't training for a marathon. I didn't have my bike. Have I considered the idea of doing an average game score by team for the season, based like a resume ranking? I saw you ask that in a comment, and that's pretty much what the rating is, Joseph Titus. The game score is just a derivative of their, it's like if you divided their rating up in each game. How's the running going? Good so far. I think I'm on week 5. My marathon's on February 28th, I think, or 27th, the last Sunday in February. I have a 12-mile run this Saturday. I did a 3-mile run today. I had a 6-mile run yesterday. I got a 3-mile run tomorrow. I run 4 days a week. I also lift 4 days a week. And then I ride my bike once a week. Michigan State let me down last week, but if you really look at their schedule, that's been my biggest knock on Michigan State this year. Is just I gave them credit where credit was due. There's a fly in my water. But I gave them credit where credit is due. You have to, because they beat Michigan. Got to give them credit there. But it was a home win, and outside of that, it's kind of like they've just kind of done what they've needed to do. What's with these flies? Jeez. But there's a reason they're not ranked very high in my model. What do I have them at? Okay, they're up to 29 now. At least they're out of the 50s. Remember, they're lingering around in the 50s all season. But they have Maryland. They'll beat them. And then Ohio State on the road, they'll lose that. And then they're going to go, if they go 10-2, I mean, good for them, honestly. They'll go to a good bowl game. Good for them. But, they're not that good of a team. How long am I out from the marathon? It's on February. It's the last Sunday in February. I think it's the 27th. Yeah, February 27th, Sunday. Knowing my luck, it's going to be like snowing and ice and, bitter cold and wind on that morning. Just that'll be my luck. The weather's actually been pretty nice. I haven't really had to run in it. Probably the coldest temperature I've ran in so far is 45 degrees. And, you're cold for like maybe a quarter of a mile and then you're warm. Like I wore my, when it was cold and raining last week, it was 45 and raining, I wore my ski jacket. And, man, that was a mistake. I was sweating like no other. I had to put it in the washing machine afterward. That thing was like soaking wet. Do I work remotely, hybrid, or in person? I work remotely. It's not like when I was going on the job search that I wanted a remote job. That's just how it ended. I prefer to work in an office. I just feel like this is my office right here now. I got a 43-inch monitor in front of me, and I got 2 laptops and a computer. And here's the deal. There's just too many distractions. You feel like you're not as productive as you could be. So what I'll do is there's like a room up on the 4th floor of my apartment building that you can go into that has like an office setting, and I'll go up there sometimes. But even then, it still just didn't feel like I'm completely productive. And then what I did last Friday, if you go to my Instagram, by the way, Twitter finally unbanned me. I'm going to put my Twitter account in the chat. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter. That's also my Instagram as well, and I've been a lot more active on Instagram as well. But on Friday I went to the park. I brought my 2 laptops and a webcam to the park on Friday to get work done. But it was nice weather. But yeah, Twitter finally unbanned me. It sucks though, because if you guys remember my Twitter account before they shut it down this past January, I had 4,000 followers and a very engaged audience. And then Twitter banned it for no reason at all. And then they finally unbanned the account last Wednesday, I think. They basically said, oops, our bad. We banned you by mistake. You didn't do anything wrong. And I'm like, great. And so, but all my tweets were gone. All my followers were gone. I'm like, okay, so it's basically like I had to start over. So that's kind of a bummer. Yeah. Not sports related, but man, trying to find a one-bedroom apartment is hard and rent is high. Yeah, I'm kind of glad I got in when I did. The apartment I lived at in Las Vegas, I paid $1,400 a month for it, and now it's going for like $1,900. And I remember I moved into that apartment last December, so not even a year ago. So like a nearly 33% increase in 1 year. We're down to 0% Celsius up here now, so no sympathy. Yeah, where are you at, Gunner347 Smith? I know you said up north, but I forgot. Didn't you say you were like in Canada or something like that? But yeah, so I've been more active on social media. So hopefully I get my Twitter account back up. I doubt it'll ever get to where it was, 4,000 followers and, Do you ever wear those blue blocking glasses for computers? My mom does. I heard they're actually better for like preventing insomnia. Because one thing that can cause insomnia is too much blue light before you go to bed. But my mom does. Whatever happened with those people that scammed you at the start of March Madness? They were trying to troll me a couple weeks ago, but I completely ignored them and didn't even talk about them on the stream. They were really trolling me hard at the beginning of the college football season. They were coming into the chat and everything and blowing up my phone with Google Voice numbers, I'm sure. But I just ignore them. I just ignore them now. They've kind of cooled off. I think that's the best thing to do is ignore them, but they're just a bunch of idiots. But yeah, if you guys saw my email address that I use for like business inquiries, I get like tons of I could easily like make a couple $1,000 a month just off like sponsorships and stuff on this YouTube channel. But I don't because I'm just not interested in having expectations, I guess. I like this channel to be very independent. That's why I have no sponsors. Oh yeah, I get tons of sponsorship requests, guys, and I turn them all down. Nothing against the sponsors. Nothing against them at all. Like, man, my hair is flat today. That's why I'm wearing a hat, because I had my, but I get so many sponsorship requests, but also not just that, but like I don't want to sponsor anything that I wouldn't use personally, and that's a lot of them are like overseas sports books and like Bitcoin-based betting sites, and nothing against them. I mean, I have nothing against them at all. It's more of the fact that like I wouldn't use it. I don't use overseas books. I don't use like Bitcoin betting sites and all these other and a lot of these people are very nice. Like I've been approached by some pretty, decent sized entities that want to partner up with me, and they're very nice, very professional. Maybe a year ago I would have, but like I just don't want expectations, because I don't want to feel like I'm forced to make content or forced to do things. I kind of like how I just do the streams and videos when I feel like it, do what I want to do without having to answer to anybody. And that's honestly why I'm not partnering up with some of these bigger entities that have wanted to partner with me. I worked in TV for 9 years, and that's how this channel started. For those of you who don't know, it actually started as an offshoot from the TV segments I had working in Louisville, Kentucky. And then when I left the station, I wanted to keep it going, and that's how this channel was born. I used to do sports betting content for a TV station in Kentucky that I worked for. But it was very hard. I basically had to condense things down to like 2-minute segments, and it's very hard to do that. And so I feel like the channel gave me a lot more freedom. Had a decent-sized bet on Kentucky game last week versus Tennessee. Game was crazy. How do you lose having the ball for over 45 minutes and running 100 plays? Game pissed me off. Yeah, it happens. Looks like winner is close to hitting the Quad Cities. Davenport, Rock Island, Moline, and Bettendorf. Would love to get out of here, move to Florida, Arizona, or Vegas. Yeah. I mean, I lived in Iowa, and I loved it, guys. I loved Iowa, but the winters were brutal, but I like seasons. And that's one of the things you kind of miss living in a place like, San Diego. Like when I lived in San Diego, you didn't really have any seasons. The weather was always kind of the same. I like snow. I like thunderstorms, and like Texas, kind of has 4 seasons here. You got thunderstorms in the spring and nice weather in the fall. You get the occasional snow in the winter and very hot summer, but you have seasons at least. Get Taco Bell as a sponsor. That'd be great. I would take Taco Bell as a sponsor. There's, but pretty much all the sponsorships requests I get are related to like sports betting, stuff like that. I did BetMGM for a while, but they were my sponsor for a while. But since I moved to the streaming format, I do a lot more streams now instead of pre-recorded videos. I just couldn't really find a way to plug them anymore. The eviction protection made it hard to move people. Well, that's part of the reason why rents are going up, Rashim. Because of the eviction protection. I lived one winter in Iowa. The winter I lived in Iowa, I didn't mind it that much. Was it cold? Yeah, but I like snow. I didn't really mind it. Like Seattle, I didn't like Seattle because it snowed maybe twice, and when it did snow, like everything got shut down. We didn't have to go to work. But pretty much from like October to April, it was pretty much like nonstop rain, and not like hard rain, but more of like just like a drizzle or a mist for like that entire, like October to April, like 7 months. So like May, June, July, and August, and then September. So like 4, maybe 5 months. The weather was great, but man, apart from that, it was just like a constant drizzle and gray skies. I hated living in Seattle. I lived for 2 years, and I hated it. But how do I put it? The more you get away from a place, it's been like 4.5 years since I moved out of Seattle. You kind of like it. It kind of grows on you in a way. Like, okay, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. But I think the reason I didn't really like Seattle is because I really wasn't making a lot of money at the time, and it was an expensive city. And so, when you're not making a lot of money, expensive city, you can't really have a life, It's like I moved to Louisville, and my salary increased by like $40,000 a year. And not only that, but Louisville is also a lot cheaper cost of living wise. So it was like I got a double raise. Baskin Robbins as a sponsor. I would love that. So you watch the road trip videos, Arthur Kent? Yeah, that ice cream shop I went to in Wisconsin was awesome. It was called, I forgot what it was called. It was in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Ramones, yeah. But man, what did I get? I got I don't even remember. I just remember it was good, and the lady working there was very nice. I'm guessing she was the owner. But like Wisconsin, nice for you. And I remember when I was in Eau Claire that day, it was a very nice place. Oh man, I'm sure in the winter it's a different story, but I was there in August. And also the best food I had on the entire trip. Those cheese curds were amazing. And I tried to make cheese curds myself because H-E-B over in Hudson Oaks sells them. And they didn't come out quite as good. I mean, they were still good, but it was my first time to ever try to make cheese curds. But Milwaukee Burger Company, I think is what it's called. Those were amazing cheese curds. Oh yeah, they were wonderful travel. That road trip was awesome. I'm taking, so I'm going to go to Park City for Christmas. I'm going to go to Vail in February, and then hopefully Lake Tahoe and Las Vegas in March. That is the plan. All ski trips. I got a season pass. I actually went to the lone place in the DFW area that sells ski equipment. I went there on Sunday to buy a ski helmet and goggles. Yeah, I'm looking forward to my ski trip, guys. I'm leaving for Park City on the 21st, so a little over a month. But yeah, that road trip was awesome. Yeah, I think that's the thing, Jay Boak, is that the winter I spent in Iowa, I'd never been through a winter like that before in my life. It was really like the first cold weather climate I had lived in, so it was kind of like a novelty for me. But I guess having to deal with that every winter, yeah, it might be grow on you. Do I track closing live value with my model? I do not. Maybe I should. But honestly, like I said, I'm just not invested enough this year to care. Because I haven't really been betting on it with betting with it for real since like week 3. The cooking tutorials, man. That was like the early days of this channel when I had like 200 subscribers. Yep. The cooking videos. But, like I said, when I was living in San Diego, I had no family, only a handful of friends. This channel is more of like an escape, kind of like something to fill the time. But now that I have much more of a life here in Texas, this channel feels like it's more of a, how do I put it? It feels like it's more of like something I don't want to say obligated to do, but it's no longer yeah. Gosh. I had to make I don't think Closing Line Valley has cracked it up to be either. I've always said, if you have a good model, then it doesn't matter. Because if you have a good model, then you're going to beat the closing line more often than not anyway. Focus on building a good model, and the closing line value beating will come. Yep. What do I miss about living in Las Vegas? I miss being within driving distance to like all the ski resorts. I miss the fact that it wasn't really spread out. Meaning, like here in Fort Worth, it's like so spread out here. Like you drive anywhere, it's like 20 miles each way. Everything was pretty convenient in Las Vegas. But yeah, there's parts I miss, but I had the chance to move back here to Texas, and I took it. Would I hesitate to move back there in the future? No, I would not. It was a good place. But I feel like I'm in the place where I need to be now, for the time being. Let's see what else. Man, I had to make I made a hard decision last night on a personal matter, and I've been kind of second guessing myself today. But you know what? When you make a hard decision like that, and I feel like the decision I made was more of like a decision that might have some, might be tough in the short term, but I feel like it was a good long-term decision. But I've definitely been second guessing myself today. But you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do, and let's hope that the decision I made last night pays off. Hard choices, Have you guys ever been in a spot where you're like second guessing something you did, but deep down you probably made the right choice? But it's going to take a few weeks to, see if it was the right decision? Anyway. Rambling on. Yeah, Joseph Titus, I think you're right. I think it was the right decision, but the hard decision. Yeah, I don't want to go into too much detail. It's one of those personal matters. What do I think about the Dalvin Cook situation? I don't even know what the Dalvin Cook situation is. Lawsuit? Accusing running back of assault? I don't know. Wait for the facts to come out. Too early to know. Too early to know. One thing I've done here in Texas, does anyone here use any of the apps like Bumble or Tinder or Hinge? Anybody? I'll be honest, I've been on those probably for the past few weeks. How long do I drive from Fort Worth to Las Vegas? You can do it in 2 days, probably about 17 hours if you do it in one shot, but I divide it into two. I'll stop in Albuquerque. Yeah, no. I've gotten some good matches on them. I have. But it's kind of a weird dynamic. Like, I don't have any problem getting matches, you know. I don't. The hard part is, you know, deciding which of those matches to focus on, and then getting those matches you do want to focus on to actually talk to you. Because you'll get a lot of matches, but a lot of them will like suck at holding conversations, or just like stop replying to you, or ghost you, or whatever. But no, I've got, you know, I think I've had the most success on Hinge, to be honest with you. Probably because I'm 33, and that's kind of like, I feel like there's a lot more people that are on there to be serious than, you know, Bumble. I don't even use Tinder anymore. I feel like I'm out of the like target age range for that. But yeah, I've had the most success on Hinge. Oh yeah, that's the thing. Like I actually had an old girlfriend that I met on Hinge, not Hinge, Bumble, a few years ago, and she showed me her accounts, and she had like, good Lord, like her Tinder Gold, it had like 4,000 plus likes. You know, that was just like the how many people have liked it. That didn't count her matches. So if you're using these things, you're always going to be there's no way you're the only guy that she's talking to. And so that honestly, when a girl stops talking to me or stops replying, whatever, I would just feel like, you know what, there's other guys she's more interested in. That's fine. But you know, there's a couple, you know, matches that I got that I'm, you know, very interested in, and you know, looking to really zero in on and move forward with. You know, and so, you know, I'm optimistic about that. But even with those girls, the ones that have been able to carry on a good conversation and have shown interest and don't ghost you, and, you know, are good matches, even then there's their own challenges within those, you know, logistical challenges. Timing is a big deal. Timing is a big deal, you know. When I say timing, you know, you can't just like flat out ask a girl out, like, right out, you know, you kind of have to like smoothly transition to that. You know, I've been using these apps for a long enough time to, you know how to structure things. But timing is such a big deal. And even when you're ready to ask a girl out, you know, you feel like you built up a good enough rapport, you know, you felt her out, you feel like, you know, there could be a connection. And I feel like, I use the word connection loosely because ultimately I feel like until you've actually met up with the girl on these apps, you know, nothing's really real. Because you might vibe very well in text messages and stuff, but then in person things don't, you know, are opposite. So, but at the same time, you know, you can kind of get a good feel. But even then, like, you might be ready to ask a girl out, and you know, it's still not the right time because of certain circumstances, and you just kind of have to be patient. Most women want your resume before going out with you. Yeah, I mean, and I don't blame them. There's a lot of creeps on these apps for sure. I mean, I've gone out with girls on these apps in the past that have told me some pretty bad horror stories, and I'm surprised after those horror stories they told me that they even gave it another go, to be honest with you. I wouldn't go out with a guy on these apps after some of the things they've been through. But yeah, you know, it's great. You know, but like I said, timing is everything on these things, and I'm learning that the hard way right now. You just got to be patient. That's probably the thing you need most is patience. But yeah. Better women who work at Arby's or Wendy's? Great question. I've actually known some girls who have worked at Arby's, like, you know, a couple of girls I knew in high school. They worked at Arby's when we were like 16. Del Taco. I haven't been to a Del Taco in probably 10 years. Last time I went to a Del Taco was when I was living in Los Angeles doing an internship. Oh, yeah, Joseph Titus. There are real creeps on there. Yep. And then they ruin it for the rest of us. But no, I really do have a couple of really, you know, hopefully matches that can really go somewhere. And we'll see what happens. All right, so what's my record this year in football? Horrible. I mean, honestly, minus 74 units, but I haven't actually bet that much. I stopped betting in like week 3 when I realized that, hey, this model might not be very good. Looking at college basketball scores right now. Ooh, Rutgers needed overtime to beat Lehigh. Ohio State almost lost to Akron last night. Yeah. But see, like these types of videos where I'm just kind of here behind the microphone, this is more of my element, to be honest with you. Thoughts on Iowa versus Minnesota. I actually went through that earlier, but I can tell you again. It was Splitsville all the way, Brian E. I'm pretty sure there wasn't really any lean. Let me go over it again for you. I have Iowa winning 25-16. So, biggest surprise looking back at my model. I think the biggest surprise is how poorly it's done, to be honest with you. And how I've literally had one winning week all year. That's a surprise. And that wasn't supposed to happen. Like, I worked on this model very hard, incorporated a lot of machine learning techniques, and made sure my data was structured and tidy and everything, but it just hasn't panned out this year. It is what it is. And, good thing I wasn't betting real money. For real. Tom Brady's last year, I don't think it's going to be this year. I think he'll announce before his final year that it's his last year. That's how I see it playing out for him. Man. All right, it's 8:47. Do I do best on totals in college basketball? I don't think I bet totals last year in college basketball. Did I? Maybe I did. Okay, yeah, I did. Last year in college basketball, no, spreads were slightly better than totals, but money lines were the best. But I college basketball this year, I don't know if I'm going to be doing a model this year. Like I said, I'm going to do a video on this subject tomorrow, but long story short, I just don't know if I have the desire, the willpower to do the prep work that needs to be done to get the college basketball model up and running for the season. There's a lot of prep work that needs to be done to get that up and running, and I just don't know if I have it in me right now. I don't know if I have the desire, the passion. You got to have that burning fire. The burning fire I had last year when I did the college basketball model, and last year when I did the baseball, and honestly, just a few months ago when I did the college football model, I had like a burning desire, a passion, a want to, and I don't have that right now. So I don't want to force myself to do something because then my passion's not in it. New Mexico has a player named Jethro in basketball. Don't they have Richard Pitino as their coach now? All right. Do I got anything else for you guys? I think I'm going to call it a night. I went for 15 minutes, a lot longer than I thought I was going to go. But, kind of glad to get your mind off some things and to do something else for a change. I don't know about Saturday. I might do a video tomorrow about a pre-recorded video about, how college basketball is going to go this year on this channel, which, just spoiler alert, not much. But, I'll try to maybe stream for a couple hours on Saturday. I just don't know what my Saturday plans are yet. Things are very fluid in my life. Very true, Rashim. Yeah, appreciate it, Joseph Titus. I appreciate everyone who still watches this channel. I do. It's not what it used to be. I'll admit that this channel isn't what it used to be. I don't have the... I guess I don't have like that startup attitude I had for the first year or two of this channel where I was really pumping out content. But yeah, thanks for still sticking around. Maybe one day I'll find that desire again to get this channel back up and running. All right, guys? Like I said, I really will try to stream on Saturday, but like I said, things are fluid, so we'll see. All right, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you hopefully Saturday.